Hi, my name is Meike de Boer and I will present to you our research on within speaker consistency of field pulses.
Field pulses, or hesitation markers, are commonly used in forensic speaker comparisons and are described as highly speaker-specific. Speaker specificity does not only mean that speakers differ from each other in their field pulse realizations, but also that speakers are consistent in their use of field pulses. Previous work has shown that speakers are consistent in the frequency of occurrence of field pulses across speech tasks. In addition, in recordings from different sessions, speakers were consistent in the proportion between filled and silent pulses and the proportion between and. Also, the fundamental frequency of filled pulses has been shown to remain stable across sessions on separate recording days. Finally, vowel realization was quite stable within individuals within one recording. However, for forensic speaker comparisons, it is not just important that there is high within speaker consistency in one recording session or on a short term, but also in recordings made at different moments in time. That is why this study investigated field pulses in non-contemporaneous recordings made over 2.5 years apart. The data were retrieved from the database of the longitudinal Utrecht collection of English accents. This is a database that consists of 1 to 5 recordings per speaker, made during their bachelors at different moments in time. For the current study, we looked at the first and final recording, which were made at the start of the first year of the speaker's bachelors and at the end of their third year. The speakers were students from University College Utrecht, which is a unique language environment. Students live on campus for at least their first year, but mostly during their entire studies. English is the official language in college and on campus, and is used as a lingua franca. Several prior studies have shown that convergence is taking place on segmental and suprasegmental level, causing the students to sound more and more similar to each other over the course of 3 years. We selected 25 students with the same demographic and linguistic background. The students were female, around 18 years old during the first recording, and native speakers of Dutch. In addition, their level of English was relatively high. The students were asked to do a 2-minute monologue, both in their native language and in English. The sessions were recorded using a close talking microphone on a headset in a quiet, furnished office. From these recordings, over 1,500 tokens were segmented. Each speaker contributed an average of 66 tokens. For each token, the first 3 vowel performances were measured as well as the fundamental frequency. The data were analyzed using Bayesian linear mixed effects models. The models were interpreted based on the 95% highest density intervals and Bayes factors. The highest density intervals gave information regarding the credibility of the results and were used to check significance. The Bayes factors show whether there is more evidence for the null hypothesis, that there is no effect, or for the alternative hypothesis, that an effect has been found. The further away from one, the stronger the evidence for either one of the hypotheses. In the fixed part of the model, we added by speaker intercepts and the fixed vectors language and time, as well as their interaction. We also used random slopes, but those are not relevant for the current presentation since they do not give information about the within speaker consistency. We built separate models for each acoustic feature and also separately for and for I will now show you the results. In the models predicting the fundamental frequency, neither language nor time contributed significantly. The same goes for their interaction. The Bayes factors show that there is substantial evidence in favor of the null hypothesis. In the F1 models, time does not contribute significantly, and the Bayes factors for both time and the interaction between time and language show that there is substantial to strong evidence in favor of the null hypothesis. Although not the focus of this study, we like to report a small language effect with a higher F1 in English than in Dutch. The Bayes factors show that for There is even substantial evidence against the null hypothesis. For F2, neither time nor the interaction effect made a significant contribution. There is substantial evidence in favor of the null hypothesis. This is also the case for language. Finally, for F3 again, neither language nor time nor their interaction contributed to the model. There is strong evidence in favor of the null hypothesis. To summarize, when we look at time, the spectral characteristics of A and remain remarkably stable. These findings confirm previous beliefs regarding the within-speaker consistency of field pulses. In addition, we showed that field pulses are also a stable feature in speakers' second language. We found this over a period of almost 3 years, and even in a unique language environment where other speech features are converging over time. This is very promising for the use of hesitation markers in forensic speaker comparisons. If you are interested in the references, you can press pause now. Otherwise, I want to thank you for your attention, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate.